morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this exciting announcement. My name is Audrey Shola with the U.S. EPA, and I'm excited to welcome you all here today as we celebrate this momentous occasion. And now it is my honor to introduce U.S. EPA Regional Administrator for the Pacific Southwest region, Martha Guzman.
Thank you. Good morning. Buenos dias. It is such an honor to be here today, to be just a small part of the leadership of the city of LA in restoring some of not just the river, but the communities around it. And I just want to start by thanking Mayor Bass for her decades of leadership. I knew her personal leadership in her state role many decades ago, but of course her federal and now local levels. Her unwavering commitment to the people of Los Angeles, especially the most underserved. So thank you, Mayor Bass, for your leadership. And I had the privilege of meeting this morning District 1 Council Member Unices Hernandez. Thank you very much for your beautiful district and all of the revitalization happening here. City Engineer Ted Allen, many unsung heroes here today, met some of the sanitation staff that really make all of this happen. And the Bureau of Sanitation Director and General Manager Barbara Romero, thank you so much for your work. And of course, our most native and longstanding partners with the Fernandino Tatavian Band of Mission Indians, the tribal president, Rudy Ortega Jr. Thank you very much, President Ortega. I have been traveling quite a bit lately. Just yesterday, I came back from Flagstaff in Phoenix, where it was 118. And they have, it seems like cool standing out here. You know, this work is a lot bigger than what's happening in other parts. I just want to put it to scale here because in Phoenix they have also a project there in their urban area similar to here called the Rio Salado. And it takes a tremendous amount of partnership and a tremendous amount of leadership because what we're dealing with are those areas in our country that have been contaminated, dumped on, usually low-income communities of color. Same thing across the nation. And it takes a lot of little steps. You know, today we're celebrating $2 million. I know in these budgets, particularly down here in LA, that doesn't seem like a lot. But it's, as Barbara was saying earlier, it's the hardest money because it's the hardest money to go in to a place that's contaminated and rebuild. It's easy to go out into the areas that don't have any contamination, but it just reflects the commitment of this leadership under the Bass leadership to revitalize the lowest and most polluted communities, and it reflects the prioritization of this administration, the Biden administration, to make sure we're investing across the nation in communities just like this. We have been given a directive by our president called Justice 40. That means that all the funds under the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and the Inflation Reduction Act must go, at least 40% of those funds must go to communities like this. And the brownfields funds are 100%. So $2 million is a part of a much larger pot. $2.4 billion has been invested by EPA in brownfields funding, and the Inflation Reduction Act yielded even more. So without further ado, I want to really introduce the person who has made all of this happen, Senator. Mayor Karen Bass.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I will say it hardly feels like morning as hot as it is, but I am glad we're here at such an early time. But I just want to thank Ms. Guzman for the introduction, but also for your work and for your leadership, and not just within the EPA, but your leadership over many, many years. And I think it's just emblematic of the administration that we have in Washington, D.C., that we are standing here today. So I am very proud that I was in Congress at the time that we fought for the bipartisan infrastructure law, and that we ensured that the needs of communities who are most impacted are met. I want to thank the Biden administration and the EPA for making sure that Los Angeles and this area specific was selected for this funding. We secured funding for fixing roads and preparing our bridges. We also secured hiring provisions to make sure that we bring more jobs directly to our communities. Again, consistent with the administration, within the first few days of the administration, a pledge was made toward equity. And equity, to me, I can't think of a better expression for it than when you are talking about the environment and the disproportionate impact that environmental damage has taken on especially communities of color. And again, these resources is a perfect example of how we are addressing this. This funding will allow the city of Los Angeles to clean up this abandoned rail yard, which has contaminated the environment here with heavy metals, oil, and other toxic pollutants, and turned it into a community park that will expand green spaces to this community and expand access to the LA River. This grant is the first step for Los Angeles to begin that process. Decades of underinvestment have left large chunks of Los Angeles without parks that our communities need and deserve. The U.S. EPA Brownfields program, which was part of the bipartisan infrastructure bill, will transform spaces like this, not only in LA, but across the country. And I know that at a city level, we will continue our momentum to confront the climate crisis and beautify our neighborhoods. Councilwoman Hernandez has been at the forefront at the charge to ensure that we are building a brighter future for coming generations. And I know that the Department of Public Works will be right here in that fight as well. So again, I want to thank our regional director, Martha Guzman. I look forward to working with you on many more projects in the future. And I want to thank your dedication to ensure that people have the right to clean air, clean water, and a healthy environment where they live, work, and play. And with this, I would like to introduce the great councilwoman from the area, Eunice Hernandez. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to CD1. Right behind me is where the work will be done, right across this bridge. And, you know, the yard goes down about 6 to 7 of these light poles. So we're talking about creating the opportunity for so much beautiful green space that's needed in CD1. When I was campaigning, I met with people who were trying to preserve green space and create more green space for people in CD1. And they shared that if everybody in CD1 was able to have the same access to green space, that everybody would get a piece of paper's worth if we split it up equally. 60% of our district are tenants. They don't have front yards. They don't have backyards. This right here, this is going to be life-changing for a lot of our folks who don't have access to green spaces. So I want to just thank you all for being here. I want to thank the administrator, Ms. Martha Guzman from the EPA, and for her team for supporting this critical effort to repair and remediate this land. I want to thank Mayor Bass for her dedication and leadership and ability and desire to bring us all together to get things over the finish line, to implement visions and work together to make it happen. And of course, I want to give a shout out to our incredible city departments, including BOE and LA Sanitation, for carrying out this critical work day in and day out, not only getting rid of waste and making sure that our city is clean, but also being our supporters and our watchdogs and making sure that we are following and that others are following laws to protect the environment, to protect our communities from pollution, and to clean up, and making sure that when it's cleaned up, that it's done right. It's not done halfway. So thank you. Thank you for that work. We're at a critical juncture in the city's history as the impact of historic divestment, the growing impact of climate change and a changing world present us with new challenges every single day. But we are fortunate to have every branch of government, from our local leaders all the way up to our federal government, pouring attention, energy, and money into making LA not just a city that will survive the challenges that lie ahead, but one that will really thrive. I see areas like Taylor Yard as opportunity zones for our city. By remediating this land, we can ensure that the next generation of Angelinos have access to open and green spaces that they deserve and that they can enjoy. Again, thank you for being here to celebrate this project. I look forward to working together to deliver more of these initiatives to clean up more land. We have CD1, we have Avenue 34, we have the Welch's side, we have the Lincoln Heights Jail. You know, all of these places where we need to remediate. This is a beautiful step, and I'm grateful that we're making it happen, and we're going to work together to make it more accessible to all of our city. So again, thank you for having us, and thank you for all the work y'all are doing.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Ted Allen, City Engineer with the Bureau of Engineering. So much has been well said about the importance of this project, and I know it's hot, so I'm going to cut my speaking points a little bit shorter, but I did want to echo one thing that Administrator Guzman mentioned, and Mayor Bass as well. The funding for site cleanup such as this one is the hardest funding to secure, and so we're so grateful for this funding, and we'll be able to leverage it to get so many other sources of funding for the work to follow. So it's put to very, very good use. So I want to thank first Martha Guzman and the EPA team. Thank you so much, and we're going to put the money to good use, I promise. And Mayor Karen Bass for recognizing the importance of this project and the cleanup of the site for the LA River communities. Councilmember Ulysses Hernandez, thank you so much for you and your team jumping in so quickly and getting behind this project and so many others. And our great leaders at the Board of Public Works, including Vice President Teresa Villegas, we have here with us today. Thank you. And a very special thanks to the speaker that will be following me, Barbara Romero, the General Manager and Director of LA Sanitation Environment. You know, I was thinking back, this project in the Taylor Yard G2 site has been such a long history, so many years first trying to purchase the site, finally being able to purchase it, and then, you know, now figuring out the path forward with cleaning it up and implementing all of these. Barbara's been involved in so many capacities over the years, from the community side, in the mayor's office, as a board commissioner, now as a general manager. So she's got a very, very special role in all of this. So thank you. With that, I just do want to say a couple little things about it. The Taylor Yard is a 42-acre site, riverfront, as you can see, right across the river, as Councilmember mentioned. This money will be used to help clean that up. And then we have a few boards over here if you have a minute to see some of the things that we'll be doing as a part of this project with the cleanup and the water quality efforts. A project of this size, you know, there are a lot of challenges, requires a lot of partners, and we've had some really strong partners. The EPA is of course one, but also the MRCA and California State Parks. And together, they own some of the other adjoining parcels. There's 100 acres altogether, and we have just executed this month a 100-acre partnership, so a holistic vision for those three sites. So it's really going to be an amazing place for the community in the future. I also want to mention we have some public meetings coming up. We have a public meeting coming up on August 5th at 10 a.m. at the Rio de Los Angeles State Park. So we hope to see you all there and your friends. We've had many community meetings in the past to help guide this project and to give the public, it's for the public after all, so we want to give them what serves them the best. And so this meeting will be to show this preliminary design and where we're at. So we're very excited about that. We're very committed at the Bureau of Engineering to working with all of you, all of our partners, to deliver this project as the others and as this bridge itself was recently delivered about a year ago. So I want to thank you. And last, I want to thank, in closing, our Bureau of Engineering team. Chief Deputy City Engineer Deborah Weintraub has put so much effort into the LA River over the years, as well as Michael Affelt, our LA River coordinator. He's been in many different roles over the years with the LA River and put a lot of effort into it. Our project managers, Luz Rebello and Evan Gonzalez. Mary Nemec, our Director of Communications. And our consultant team led by Tetra Tech, Hargraves Jones, Euler Wu, and WSP. And so with that, I want to now turn it over to the Director and General Manager of LA Sanitation Environment, Barbara Romero. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Good morning. It's so exciting to be here for many reasons. I want to thank Mayor Bass for showcasing and highlighting the importance and letting us showcase the importance of this award, what it means not only to the people working on it, but what it's going to mean to the neighborhoods that live around this really significant project. Second, I want to say thank you to Martha Guzman for your leadership and for the EPA staff who has been working with our staff to make this a reality. So thank you so much. LA Sanitation the Environment brownfield program is really a key part of our work is to protect the public health and the environment. And for us, our team helps to ensure that neglected and vacant lots in areas that are too often neglected become vibrant, vital resources for our communities. These restored lots can become housing, affordable housing, parks, and other community amenities. But as you heard, it's the hardest funding to access because for a couple of reasons. It's easy for us to get development money, capital dollars. It's sometimes hard to even purchase a site like this because it's brownfield. The math doesn't add up because what it costs to restore and just clean up what has been polluted doesn't add up. So it's such an integral resource that we need to expand. My personal vision at sanitation is to look at how we can expand these kinds of partnerships and utilize the criteria that has been included in this infrastructure money. That it's like it heard communities like City of Los Angeles that are desperately asking for this money because there's too many projects, vacant lots that are sitting that have community support and vision and plans, design plans to be built or to be purchased, but can't move. They're stuck because they need brownfields money. And so I think this will help us, start as a Bureau Engineer Ted Allen alluded to. It helps us leverage resources, but it also helps reimagine and inspire people to invest in these kinds of projects. So I just want to say that it's so exciting to be here to move along this project, and I want to say thank you and a lot of thank you and patience that the community has seen this project through for so many years, and you guys still stay active in partnering with us in making sure that we move it along, and in every incremental step. I know it's taken a long time. At this point it's like it's looking at for our kids and their kids that it's our responsibility to stay committed and not and restore projects like this. So and then I just want to say a big thank you to all the city staff at all the departments who have been working and doing the work day in and day out and staying committed to projects like this to get started that are really hard to do. But I'm enormously touched that it's still staying alive. So and again, I want to say thank you to Mayor Bass for showcasing the significance of $2 million is $2 million. And so now we have to continue to leverage this and go tell our story of why we need to invest in neighborhoods like this neighborhood here. And again, thank you to the community and all the leaders, because we have a lot of leaders here who care strongly about what we do and that we make sure that we keep our promises and that government can work for our people here in Los Angeles. Thank you very much.
Ok, buenos días. Mi nombre es Marta Guzmán, vengo de la Agencia de Protección Ambiental del Gobierno Federal. Estamos aquí celebrando una inversión en parte de la ciudad que tiene mucha contaminación, en una parte de la ciudad que tiene mucha pobreza y que necesita esta inversión. Estos fondos vinieron de la ley, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, que el presidente Biden y la alcaldesa Bass, cuando era congresista, aprobó estos fondos. Estos fondos se llaman Brownfields, fondos que son para tomar estas áreas de nuestras comunidades que no han tenido la inversión, que tienen mucha contaminación. En este caso hay mucha contaminación de los ferrocarriles anteriores y tiene mucha limpieza que se tiene que llevar. Con eso se va a poder lograr un parque de más de 42 acres para que las comunidades juntas aquí puedan tener esa recreación, esa calidad de vida con aire limpio, con poder llevar a los hijos aquí al río. Y si quieren verme, en un ratito voy a estar en el río en un kayak, pues si quieren si se quieren reír. Ok, estamos muy orgullosos de estar aquí con la ciudad de Los Ángeles para celebrar esta inversión de $2 millones del Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, que tiene más de 2 billones, 2.5 billones nacionalmente para comunidades como estas, que se van a llevar a ser más limpias y tener más oportunidades de recreación limpia. Muchas gracias. Y creo que la Councilmember Hernandez, yes, okay. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Gracias. Hola, buenos días. Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Yo me llamo Eunices Hernández, soy miembro del Consejo Municipal que representa el primer distrito y hoy estamos aquí para celebrar $2 millones que han sido recibidos para ayudar a limpiar estas hectáreas que están atrás de nosotros. Estas hectáreas atrás de aquí antes eran nomás para, ¿cómo se dice? Servir el sistema de trenes. Está muy tóxica esa tierra, hay muchos químicos en esa tierra y ahorita no es un lugar donde nuestras comunidades pueden ir y a jugar, estar en el aire libre. Estos $2 millones los van a ayudar para poder limpiar ese lugar, para que nuestras comunidades tengan más acceso a lugares que son de afuera, verdes, junto al LA River. Nuestro distrito, el distrito número 1, es un distrito donde el número más grande de nuestros miembros de la comunidad viven en apartamentos, 60%. Eso significa que no tienen yardas donde jugar enfrente o no tienen yardas atrás. Y estas inversiones en nuestras comunidades crean oportunidades para que nuestra gente, nuestros miembros de la comunidad, tengan lugares donde ir que puedan disfrutar. Y esto, lo que estamos haciendo aquí hoy, celebrando hoy, no ocurre mucho. El dinero más difícil para agarrar es el dinero que los ayuda a limpiar estos químicos. Y tenemos que celebrar lo que está ocurriendo hoy. Tenemos que celebrar lo que está ocurriendo hoy porque muchísima de nuestra gente va a beneficiar por esta inversión en nuestra comunidad. Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros y los vemos en unos años cuando abrimos el parque después de que se ha limpiado. Gracias.